We've decided to name Justin the starter for the first game against Florida Atlantic. I think all quarterbacks have done a good job this camp. I met with those guys and told them that all that really means is that Justin will be taking the first snap on Saturday. And then where it goes from there, who knows? The stories of the national championship team and 3 quarterbacks playing, everybody has to be ready to go. All guys had good camps, but Justin kind of separated himself the last week. So he'll be our starter. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Hey Ryan, is there any particular reason why you didn't name the starter and just keep it as this is our guy? I mean, what was the thought process behind that?
Well, I think anytime you're naming a starter, they have to earn it. And how do you earn it? You earn it by playing, and it's very hard to earn a job in 15 practices in the spring and then walking into preseason camp. You don't just give somebody a job. Never believed in that, never will. You have to earn it, and it's hard at quarterback. You need reps to really show what you can do, and I think coming out of the spring, Justin had a good feel for the offense, but certainly was nowhere near ready to be the starter for this offense. I would say after the first week, he really wasn't there. Made some mistakes, turned the ball over. And I think just now he's starting to scratch the surface. I still don't think he's where he needs to be, but after this last week, I do feel like he's played at a starter level, and I think he's earned the job. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Hey, Ryan, when you first took this job, one of the first things you did was get Justin. And all the things that occurred after that, transfers that ensued, the offseason, this competition. When you made that decision, I'm assuming that you knew that a lot of that stuff could happen. Where we are today, right now, is your plan and that decision, in your opinion, working the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, I can't sit here and say that there was one plan. Once Dwayne decided to enter the draft, everything went into a tailspin, really, to be honest with you. That was a very tough situation. You're talking about somebody who had 3 years left. He comes for 1 year and leaves. That affects recruiting, and it's obviously a very sensitive position. And then the opportunity to go get Justin, we knew who he was in recruiting, had a relationship with he and his dad and his high school coach, and so when he became available and those conversations were had, we felt like it was a great fit. And so then from there, a lot transpired since then, and we tried to do the best we could to put that room together and piece it together. And a very unique time and place in college football is the quarterback position. And especially when you have somebody as highly touted as Dwayne leave after his sophomore year, it makes it hard. And I think we've done an unbelievable job of putting that room together in short order. Where it goes and the production we get out of the unit will be yet to be seen. But I feel strong right now. But we'll see as it goes on.
Fourth row middle, Patrick. Where do you stand in terms of these two as backups? As you go forward, obviously with Justin, mobile quarterback, how much are you willing to run him? Kind of how is that situation given, the room maybe doesn't have as much depth as you thought you may in the spring?
Well, I think that Gunnar and Chris both bring good skill packages to the table. They both are accurate throwing the ball, good feel for anticipation and touch. A little bit more athletic than you think they are. So, like we've done in the past, we put the whole offense in, and then based on what the quarterback can do, we'll tailor it to what his skill set is, just like we did with JT and we did with Dwayne, Joe Burrow when he was in there. And now we'll do the same thing with these guys. And so we'll let those guys keep learning the offense. Gunner's really only been in the, I guess we're at practice 14 or 15. He's only been in the offense really, 15 practices. And so really he's at where Justin was coming out of the spring. And so he'll keep growing day in and day out. And, they'll keep working. And as we get closer to the game, we'll decide, if Justin were to come out of the game, who would go in next. But they're both working hard and improving every day. But we'll kind of put those packages together as we get closer to the game.
Does tailoring an offense become more difficult as you get into the season if you do need to go to a different skill set?
Not if you're organized. Yeah, not if you're organized. I think if you just kind of flying by the seat of your pants a little bit, yeah, you can get disorganized quickly. But if you can put a package together that best fits what they do, and you just practice those type of packages, then I think it's easier.
Yeah, right. You remember way back when you were named starting quarterback at New Hampshire? What did it do for you from a confidence standpoint, from a weight off your back standpoint? I mean, what changed, just a little bit mentally about you from that moment on?
It gave me confidence. Yeah, it did. you know, when you go into that first game, you're not sure what to expect, and you really don't know until somebody plays. And you know, I tried to go back on my experiences when I played and trust in my training and trust in my coaching, and that as long as I took care of the ball, everything would take care of itself, and it did. But you can't try to do too much. You can't try to prove too much, you know, and that'll be our next conversation when I sit down with Justin, is that, you know, you can't go out and try to be, you know, what Dwayne was in game one. You can't try to be what JT Barrett or Braxton Miller was. You have to be you. You got to take care of the ball. You got a good defense. You got a really good special teams and a good group around you. Just play within yourself and take care of the football.
Now with Justin driving the bus, so to speak, or at least to start driving the bus, without giving away secrets, I know you won't do this, but what's going to be a little bit different about this offense, do you think, compared to a year ago? What should people anticipate seeing?
No, I mean, it's going to be very, very similar. You know, his skill set is you know, he has a lot of different things that Dwayne had. He's a little bit more athletic and faster and stronger and run. You know, he can run. But it'll be very similar. We'll see the same type of plays. You know, we're not all of a sudden going to go drastically different. You know, we'll probably emphasize some different packages with him, but for the most part, it'll still be the Ohio State offense.
Ryan, when you talk about Justin earning that first opportunity, it seems like it might be hard to kind of quantify exactly what that means for everybody. How, when, why does that happen? And is it just a feeling? Is it a number that you used? How did you come to that conclusion that he had done that?
Well, you have to prove to your teammates and to the coaches that you're worthy of being a starter, and a lot comes with that. Leadership, ability to control the offense, making checks up front, protection checks, making good reads in a run game, locating the football, take care of the football. It's not just going out there playing; it's moving the football down the field. And you know, we even in the two scrimmages we had champions, just like we typically do during the season. You know, he graded out a champion in this last scrimmage. You know, played really, really well. So, you know, that's what it is. You know, and you can see when the guys are around in the huddle and there's a confidence about him and he's moving the ball down the field and his completion percentage at a certain point. You know, that's how you earn a starting job.
And how did he take the news? I mean, seems like he's been open to this idea of the competition all along. If it's now over that he gets to take that first snap, how did he respond? What are the conversations like for the two of you now moving forward?
Yeah, just, you know, as you get to know Justin, he kind of takes it all in stride. You know, he doesn't get too high, too low. I think he knows it's an opportunity, and now he's got to go run with it. And so I think he envisioned himself being the starter, and now he's got to go run with it.
Ryan, you talked, I think last week when you said that you thought Justin was coming off a good practice, that he was doing a better job throwing the ball on time. Is that with him just an experience thing with the guys he's working with? Is there something mechanical you had to work on with him there just to make sure he was getting the ball where he needs to be on time?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think that his reads and his eyes have been much better where he's going with the football. His timing, his understanding of the offense, the more reps he gets. I also think that he's getting a better feel for throwing in the pocket. You know, mechanically, there are a few things that Coach Yurcich has worked on and that Justin's worked on that's really cleaned up a few of his throws. You know, he's got a strong arm, and, you know, he's done a pretty good job with his accuracy in the last couple of weeks. You know, he can create. He's very athletic, and he can create. So when he does create, he has to know when there's times to take a chance and when there's times he's got to throw it away or even eat it. And that's just managing the game, maturity in that position.
And have you decided on the starter at right tackle as well?
No, those guys are still battling it out. They're doing a great job. I anticipate both will play. You know, Brandon Bowen's probably had the best camp that I've seen him play. You know, he's at a certain level right now. I think he's playing really, really well. And Nick's done a really good job as well. I think right now they both deserve to play. You know, where this week goes, we'll see. This is still another big week for us, you know, as we lead into next week and prepare for the game.
Justin's coming in as obviously a very highly rated recruit, where he was a year ago. The expectations here are so high, yet he's only been in the program a short time. How do you kind of manage? What's realistic for him, the expectations for him this year?
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. And, you know, when you say it like that, it's, you know, it makes you think, because you're right. He just got here, and the expectations are almost ridiculous. But, you know, that's the same thing as being the head coach at Ohio State. That's what you signed up for. And we're here for a reason. And so if you get caught up in those type of things, you get yourself all jammed up. And, you know, I think that he understands that. I think he always, again, envisioned himself at a school where he's going to be in a high-profile position. You know, he's he was on that QB1 show. You know, he's been a high-profile recruit, so I think he understands what the limelight means. So I think he's always prepared himself for that. I don't think this is something that just hit on him, you know, in the last couple months. I think he's always be ready for the spotlight. Now, how he handles it, we'll see. And listen, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes along the way, and the only way you grow is by failing. And I mentioned that before, is Dwayne had the opportunity to come in against Illinois, to come in against UNLV, throws a pick six, makes a bunch of mistakes, but it was in mop-up time. Nobody was noticing. And Justin doesn't have that luxury. So we're going to have to manage those situations the best we can and just support him the best we can and move forward.
I'm sure that you're really excited about his potential. You've seen his talent, but also concerned about the lack of experience. Which is kind of winning out in your mind? Are you more excited about the ceiling, how high that ceiling can be?
I am. Yeah, very, very excited.
Front row left, Doug.
When we talk about Justin's experience, what he did at Georgia last year, the time he had there, how different did that make him than a guy coming out of high school when he got here? Is there some value in that, or is it a different system? It's a different school. You felt like he was a freshman.
Yeah, another great question, because I went home the other night and there was a SEC game on. It was Auburn, Georgia. I think it was at Georgia. And I just happened to click it on and start watching it. And the quarterback for Georgia was Justin Fields. It just caught me off guard that, you know, he's taken snaps in SEC games and SEC environments. So I slept a little better that night because he caught the snap and he didn't turn the ball over. So that was good. That was one in the books. But that's very, very different than, you know, running a team, managing a team, operating a team. But the good news is he has played in those environments. And anytime you've taken a snap in those environments, you know, you've experienced what it means to play in big-time college football and atmosphere. So a little bit of both. I think, you know, at least he's got a little bit of a feel for it. But at the same time, you know, managing a game, making great decisions, playing situational football, making decisions and taking care of the ball and putting the team in front of yourself, all those things are going to be critical.
Generally, your general philosophy with a quarterback who does have running ability, what's your comfort level in how many times you want him running the ball in a game, either on called runs or on scrambles, and how comfortable are you with him taking hits in the course of a game? Yeah,
I'm not comfortable with him taking a lot of hits in the course of a game for sure. And I think that those are all things that are going to be really, you know, calculated, you know, down to the last, you know, carry, because you know, like you said, because he has such a great skill set, you know, you can do a lot of things with him. So we have to be smart with that. I think the type of runs and the type of ways that he runs with the football are different. You know, there's certain heavy runs where he's going to have to go in there and take shots from linebackers, and there's other ones where maybe he's, you know, squirting out to the sideline and stepping out of bounds. There's going to be times where he has to learn how to run too. You know, where he has to get down and. You know, I thought Kyler Murray did a great job of that last year. You saw him kind of squirt out for 7 yards, slide, get out of there, and he's okay. But there's other times where down in the red zone, he's going to have to probably lower his shoulder and run the ball well. But I think that's all part of the plan here in figuring that out for him. But, you know, obviously don't want to put him at risk.
And is there any recap generally from the scrimmage that you can give just to guys who look good this past weekend, or just what you like?
Know, we had probably about 10 to 12 champions on both sides of the ball. I thought guys came out and played really, really well. And nothing in particular in terms of like individuals that really, you know, stepped up that maybe hadn't before without, you know, selling somebody short. But it was a good scrimmage. I think the offense and the defense have been getting after each other. It's been a lot of give and take, which has been great. I will say on offense, I think that J.K. Dobbins has really run hard in this camp. He's got his pads down. He's playing with speed. I think that's significant. I think that on defense, we are running to the ball. We're creating turnovers. The secondary's playing with energy. The defensive line's penetrating. You know, I could feel that. And they're playing with great energy. So overall, I think we got that accomplished. We're still working to get tough. That's a daily process, is being tough. And but I think we got that done in camp. We got tougher, but we're not where we need to be yet.
How did you let the quarterbacks all know about your decision? Did you sit down with me with them like last night?
Yeah, I met with them
today?
individually last week a little bit, just talked about where we were, and then met with them as a group.
Was that today or yesterday?
So I met with them individually last week, and then met with them today as a group.
And what message did you kind of convey to them? incident?
No, just that all this means is that Justin's taking the first snap in the Florida Atlantic game, and that, like I said, in the national championship game, all three guys had to play. We're going to need guys. Guys have to prepare to be ready to go. If Justin doesn't, do what he's supposed to do, then someone else is going to have an opportunity. So that's all that means right now. But that he earned it, he deserves it, and we're all going to support him. Right, that's what we were saying before. I don't really think that we have a backup yet, again, because I think that really Gunnar only has 15 practices under his belt, so he's still working on trying to see what he's capable of. I think even in another 2 weeks, I think we'll get a better feel for where he is. Just like, again, the first week of preseason camp, Justin didn't practice that well, so that's what practice 16 through 20 something, and that's not a lot of practices. That's not a lot of reps, and so, Gunner's flashed at times, but then also he's still learning everything. And anytime you're doing something where you're learning it for the first time, it's hard. So, I'll expect those guys to continue to compete against each other.
Ryan, we talked a lot about backup running backs so far during camp. If you guys had a game later today, who would be your number 2 tailback?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, DeMario has had a good camp. He's done some really good things. I think he can really be a weapon for us. Master has practiced a couple days, and when he has, he's looked good, but he's been limited all camp, which is hard. I know, frustrating for him. And then the 2 freshmen have been running hard. So I think there's a chance you could see them all play right now. I'd say maybe DeMario has the leg up on those other guys right now, but they'll continue to work today. I thought DeMario ran better today, and overall he's doing a good job.
Bill asked you about right tackle, and that's still kind of up for grabs. He said both guys might play. Is there any other position that's still a little bit up for grabs as far as who's going to start? Maybe you could have a rotation at a certain spot.
I think we could see a lot of the offensive linemen play. Towards the end of the week, probably have a better idea who those are. But we're going to try to play depth there. We're going to try to play depth at a lot of positions, and so the more depth we can play with, the better off and stronger our team's going to be. And so. Probably by the end of the week, we'll have a better idea of where that is and who really, can we say, should play in a game. If they deserve to play in a game, we're going to play them at all positions.
Third row left, Dan. Ryan, I know you had said a couple weeks ago that you kind of felt like 4 or 5 is an ideal number for captains. What made you decide to ultimately name 7 captains?
Yeah, I just took a look at the way the vote came in, and it was pretty strong for these 7 guys, and then there was kind of a gap between 7 and then 8, 9, and 10. And I thought all were deserving. I thought it was a good mix of offense and defense, and we had 7 last year, so I thought that was a good fit.
CJ in particular, when you have a guy who goes from being a walk-on to being a captain, what kind of example do you think that sets for the rest of the team?
Oh, I think it's unbelievable because you can tell that these guys respect hard work. They respect and really give a lot of credit to the way he's gone about his work every day, the way he handles himself, his character. Because CJ hasn't played a whole bunch around here. But what matters is how he works in the weight room every day, the way he practices, the way he handles himself off the field and the classroom. And it says a lot about our team is that they voted him a captain. But that's all the guys here. Take a guy like Jonathan Cooper. All he does is everything the right way. And really proud of him. And he was just raised the right way. He comes to work every day. He's got a smile on his face. He's tough. And he'll be a great captain as well.
Where is CJ at in that competition for playing time right now, slot receiver spot?
Yeah, right now he's at the H. He's backed up or backing up KJ. Jalen Gill's in the mix right there, and he's had a good camp. He's a little bit of a situational guy. He's going to help us on special teams. He helped us in the pass game a bunch. But he's tough and he's got really great short area quickness and good hands, and I'm glad we got him.
Far left, Lori.
Coach, will you ever be a guy that names a starting quarterback from more than just a single game, or is that due to the way that this situation is playing out? And how does that jive with your philosophy of not having a player be afraid to make mistakes?
Yeah, so I think like if Dwayne was coming back next year, I mean, you'd say he's the starter and until he loses the job. I think when you're talking about a first-time starter, I think it's dangerous to start saying if he does this or if he does that. You just got to go and play and take care of the ball, and then we'll kind of take it from there. But again, it was the same situation as we were in last year. When it was kind of Dwayne and Joe, and Dwayne was ahead of Joe, and that was tough. We had to kind of make that call, and then Dwayne had to beat out Tate last preseason, and we went with Dwayne, and it kind of went from there. But it's like anything else. I mean, any other position, if guys don't produce, it's a performance game. Then you got to go from there. But when you name a starter, you try not to think about those things. You try to just think about playing with confidence and being productive, and try to think positively that way.
Realistic would it be, given their inexperience, for Chris or Gunnar to overtake Justin by a week 2 or a week 3? Or
it just depends on how he plays. Yeah, depends on how he plays. Not trying to create a quarterback controversy at all, trying to just let him play. But again, you just don't know. What happens if he rolls his ankle in the second play? Heaven forbid, but those things happen, and so you have to be ready. And so we'll just take it one play at a time, 1 week at a time, and let it build from there.
Curious how you delivered the news to the captains, and what was CJ's response?
Yeah, we did it this morning in an 8 o'clock meeting. Brought the team in and let them know the results of the voting, and called all 7 guys up here and congratulated the team. They did an unbelievable job selecting. I talked to them before about what it means to be an Ohio State captain, the tradition that comes with it, and the guys that have come before them. But then also that you're not voting for your best friend or your buddy. You're voting for someone that's going to represent the school and someone that you respect. And I thought they did a great job. And so, yeah, brought all 7 guys up and congratulated them, and I think they were all proud.
4th row right, Kevin.
Yeah, Coach, obviously you had seen a lot of tape on Justin before he came here, but obviously you hadn't worked with him, so you probably weren't keenly aware of his personality. When you're factoring in whether he's going to be a starter, how much of it is his skill level, how much it is the intangibles, the personality, the leadership?
Yeah, I don't know if you can put a number on any of what you just said, but when you see it, and the more you're around quarterbacks and the more you've seen different guys, you start to realize everybody has their own style, their own personality, their own leadership, their own skill set. And so, he brings a unique skill set. I think he does have leadership skills. I think when you walk in, it's hard to just kind of bang the door down, especially in a program like this where there's unbelievable guys who put in years worth of work. But I think, day in and day out, what he's doing, he's earning the respect of the guys around him. And so, I'll be shocked if he's not a strong leader for us by the end of the season.
Is it harder to project what a player is going to be like as a leader, say 2 or 3 games in, than what he'll be as a quarterback or a
Well, I think you see the traits, and I think with confidence you start to see it. I think if guys are uncomfortable challenging their teammates or don't do well in front of a group or can't take command of a group of guys, that's usually a bad sign. I've seen that with Justin. I've seen him take control. I've seen him challenge guys. I've seen him go put his arm around guys. I've kind of seen those different qualities about him. And so when you see those qualities and with a little bit of confidence, then typically that's going to go like this. If guys struggle with that, then it's usually hard.
Folks, we have time for just a couple more over to the right, Tony.
Ryan, do you know where your coaches are going to be stationed on game day?
Yeah, we're working through that. I think that as of right now on offense, Kevin and Mike will be upstairs. On defense, we're still working through that. I know Jeff wants to be upstairs. Whether Matt Barnes is upstairs or not, we're still figuring that out. We did have a mock game last week and kind of went through that a little bit and had Matt upstairs and with the special teams, kind of work through that a little bit. I'm kind of very much involved now with the special teams, so I'm going to be able to help a little bit, but calling plays, it's going to be hard for me to do a lot of it. So those are the things that we're working through, and we'll do another mock game this week and probably make a final decision on Saturday.
And then you guys led the nation in penalties last year. How much of that has been a focus?
Huge. So anytime somebody false starts or has a penalty now, they just do a lap. We just stop practice right then and there, and they just do a lap. And it may not seem like a big thing, but they kind of miss the whole period, and so it matters now. And I thought so far in camp we've done a pretty good job because a lot of them were the false starts, amazingly, and some of them were holding. And I know there were other penalties along the way, but if we can just cut down on those, non-talent ones where it's just false starts or procedures or illegal motions or any of the pre-snap stuff, that's just a matter of us staying disciplined, and then we'll be fine. Because the effort stuff, sometimes there'll be a holding or maybe a late hit or something like that because you're giving effort. That's one thing, but the procedural stuff we got to put an end to. So that's been the emphasis in preseason.
All right, last question, Rob.
You like your quarterbacks ultra competitive. I'm just curious how the 2 non-starters took the news. Did you deliver it today? It was the final. You met with them last week, but today I assume they got the news.
'Yeah.
And was it, we saw this coming, or was it like, could you sense that they were ticked off about it because they are competitive? How did that
A
go?
little bit of both. I think you know, they've seen Justin maybe pull away a little bit, but at the same time, I know that they're competitive and they're prideful and they want to play. So I thought that was good, and we'll see how they respond tomorrow.
And in terms of just the big plan, you've been saying that the JK needs to really get it going early. Do you break the season down into kind of increments, 3 games, in terms of we're going to do this here until they get their feet wet a little more, and then how does that play out? Is there a big picture or specific, or you kind of live in the present more?
No, yeah, you got to live in the present, but I think that the first 6 games to me is a chunk right there. Then you have the bye week, then you have those 2 games in the middle, and then you end with the last 4 games. So I do kind of look at it that way a little bit. I mean, clearly you can't look ahead or anything like that, but just that's what we're dealing with. You know, we're dealing with a 6-week kind of season right there. We come up for air, 2 games, you know, going to Northwestern, having Wisconsin at home. Then you got the bye week, and then you got the stretch, you know, down in November. So kind of look at it like that, but at the same time, you just got to be 1-0 on Saturday.
But the game planning could actually, in those increments, could change.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Shoot, we may look different in week 2 than we look in week 1, and vice versa, and depends on if they work. If they work, we'll keep going. If they don't, we'll have to change them. So.
Did everybody get through the last week healthy? I mean, have you lost anybody or anything?
Again, not you know, I think that the policy is going to be not to talk about injuries, but I've been really pleased with that. You know, again, knock on wood, so far this camp's been great. Yeah.